The Sidemen are a group of 7 huge creators who have over 17 million subscribers on their channel and are one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. But what you might not expect is that they do everything wrong in terms of what you're supposed to do on YouTube. Their videos are super long, normally over 30 minutes and sometimes even over an hour, which is almost unheard of for big creators on YouTube.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Their intros can also be slow and take a little time to get into the video. Their Christmas video starts with about 5 minutes of just casual chatting about what the song should be. This would normally mean that viewers would click off in the first 5 minutes and the audience retention would be in the absolute bin. So let me tell you how it's actually working and why the Sidemen are absolute geniuses, and this strategy is paying off massively for them. But before we get started, I'm Joe. I'm a YouTube and social media editor, and I like to think I've edited some decent videos in the past. Ideally, everyone would post longer videos on their YouTube. You make more ad revenue, audience watch you for longer, and often you can connect better with your audience. But as you can probably guess, this doesn't happen very often because it's super hard to keep viewers watching on YouTube. Audience attention is really hard to grab as there's millions of other videos that they could click on instantly. And the videos are also expected to be 8 to 10 minutes. So anything longer than that feels like an age to a YouTube viewer because that's the length of video we've been conditioned to watch on YouTube. This can then mean less views and the audience doesn't engage with it as much because they haven't seen the whole story. So how do the Sidemen get their viewers to watch for longer? Let me tell you. One of the key things to remember is that Sidemen videos haven't always been this long. They haven't always been 30 to 50 minutes. Around 3 to 4 years ago, Sidemen videos used to be around 10 to 20 minutes, which is pretty standard for YouTube back then. And the Sidemen strategy was to slowly put in a few longer videos that were closer to this 30-minute mark, closer to 40 minutes, and not just make the sudden switch of doing much longer videos. This means that if the audience doesn't want to engage with these really long videos, they don't have to. They can carry on watching the 10 to 20 minute videos because there's plenty of them. And then if they want even more content, they can then watch the really long videos. Gradually, the Sidemen's audience gets used to watching longer videos. And as they get used to watching longer videos again and again, the Sidemen can post more up until now when all they post is really long videos because the audience absolutely loves it. However, if they just switched straight away, everyone might have been like, whoa, that's way too much time. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to watch that. And they didn't actually know that they would love it. But in order to do this, the Sidemen had to have trust in their audience. But before I get onto that, if you're liking this video so far, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we're going to have lots of videos coming out in 2023. And I'm soon going to be doing a video about my earnings in 2022 because I really think it's important that everyone knows how much video editors earn so that people don't get underpaid, overpaid, and you know how much to charge your client. If you want to see that video, hit subscribe and you'll get notified when it comes out. The Sidemen had to have trust in their audience so that they could make the videos longer and make them a little bit slower cut. Because in order to make longer videos, they have to be slower cut, else the video is just going to be like cut all the way through, which is a nightmare, you know, for the editors because it's going to take them a long time. And it's also going to be really taxing for a viewer to watch that speed of content for so long. The Sidemen have been posting content on their channel for over 6 years. And in that time, the audience has really built up a connection with each of the Sidemen and they love their personality, which really helps the content to be slower cut because we can play on those personality moments that the viewers love and we know that it's good content that they're going to watch. The content can drive the edit. Although the title and the thumbnails are always these big, huge ideas, the Sidemen know that they have a core audience of about 1 million people that always watch their videos no matter what because they love the personality of the Sidemen in the videos. But by no way am I saying that the editors just lean on the Sidemen's personality. The editing in it is top class as well. A lot of the time they very cleverly use multiple storylines with the Sidemen splitting up into 2 teams and then you having one person who's running the challenge. This is basically how 90% of the Sidemen's videos go these days. And this means that we have one team to follow and then the next team to follow, often in massively contrasting situations. This means that we can follow one team and then the next team, and it means that the content can be switched up once it's getting a bit boring or the storyline of one team is coming to an end. We can then keep up that momentum of engagement by then switching to another team rather than having to re-engage the audience with the same story again, which can be harder. It's much easier to just flip the script and put ourselves into another amazing moment on the more expensive team, and we've just come from the cheaper team. But these changing scenes are done very cleverly with transitions such as this.
Yeah, that's it. Film your family at Christmas doing this, and
Yeah, because it was fucking shit.
Alright, let me do it. Let me do a few ads.
They look amazing, they're engaging to the audience, and they're that little bit different from the standard transitions you see on YouTube. They're actually not as hard as you think once you know how. So let me show you how you do them and how the Sidemen editors pull them off.
So start by dragging in your footage of the 2 clips. Then I'm just renaming my layers and rescaling my footage just so it fits the screen, but if yours fits, you might not have to do this. It's very important that you choose footage with a distinctive shape, such as mine, which has a clock phase which is very clearly circle, and then you rotoscope this out on the chosen layer. If you've chosen the right footage and you have a clear outline, it should be pretty easy. And then duplicate your layer, and once you've done that, go to the rotoscope settings and click invert foreground background to give us the opposite selection of what we already have. I'm then going to change the name to clock tower so it's something that I recognise, and I also spelled it wrong. And then move what is going to be the first layer to be shown, i.e. the drone shot, to the bottom so that the clock layer can come in over the top of it. Next, create yourself a null object. Then parent both the clock and the tower layers to the null object. And then at the very start of the clip, keyframe the scale and position so that you can't see any of the existing layer and we are just looking through that rotoscoped hole. Then move 2 frames back and change the scale and position keyframes to just the amount that you can see the outside of the clock or whatever you are rotoscoping out. And just to make it a bit easier to see what has been rotoscoped out, I've turned off the clock layer. And then 2 frames later, reset the keyframes so that it fully zooms out. And then we turn back on the clock layer and keyframe the layer at the start and 2 frames in so that it moves in like this. And then finally turn back on the drone layer, which is at the bottom, and then it should look like this.